Why play Kled Top? Well, he is brilliant in the early game. His roams are absolutely incredible. He has some of the most guaranteed engage and follow-up in the game, and he excels in getting kills and diving towers. However, he doesn't bring quite as much CC as most top laners, and his playstyle is very much all-in. He's no good at peeling for your carries. Kled's passive is his mount called Skaarl. When mounted, Skaarl takes damage for Kled, and when this bar is depleted, Kled dismounts. When dismounted, Kled's Q becomes a gun, he gains a large amount of movement speed towards enemy champions, and he deals reduced damage to champions. Kled can then remount Skaarl by filling up his courage bar. This bar is filled when he attacks champions, epic monsters, and structures, as well as when he kills minions and champions. Kled's Q when mounted is a straight line skill shot which deals damage and hooks onto the first champion hit. The hook's range gets smaller over the duration, but after 1.75 seconds, if the hook is still in place, he deals additional damage, pulls them towards him, slows them, and applies 40% grievous wounds for 5 seconds. When dismounted, however, Kled's Q will now fire a pistol in a cone which deals damage and throws Kled backwards. Enemies hit take full damage from the first pistol pellet and then 20% from any after. Each pellet that hits grants 5 courage, and he can have a maximum of 2 shots saved up of this at one time. Kled's W is just a passive. When available, his next attack will grant a massive amount of attack speed for 4 attacks. After the first 3 are spammed out, the 4th will deal a large chunk of bonus damage. Kled's E causes him to dash. If this is used through an enemy, it will deal damage and grant a small burst of movement speed. This can then be reactivated for a short time to dash back through the target. This is a great way to stick onto that opponent. Kled's ultimate causes him to charge to an area, leaving a trail behind which increases allies' movement speed. While charging, Kled gains a shield over time. Kled will then ram the first enemy champion encountered, dealing a good chunk of damage and knocking them back. For combos, start with Q and then dash into the target using the movement speed to stick on them. After this, spam your 4 attacks as fast as possible and use E again if needed to stay on them. As long as you're winning the fight, Kled can easily run them down. For Masteries, take this. Your W passive makes you proc Conqueror incredibly fast. For build order, start Blade and Pot before getting Gold Drinker, Tier 2 Boots, and Black Cleaver. After this, pick up any of these as needed, before finishing a build with any of these. For skill order, start Q, then E, then W, before maxing Q, then W, then E, taking ult whenever you can. For summoners, take Flash and Teleport. Ignite is still a viable option, but you do already have grievous wounds on your Q. Starting the laning phase, you're looking to be obnoxious immediately. For the first few levels, due to you being able to dismount and remount and all the extra health that brings, a lot of champions mathematically will not be able to kill you. And with your Q going through minions, it gives you easy engage and harass. When you hit level 3, you will have Q and E, but hold off on leveling up your W. You don't want to spend your passive on farming, so wait until you're ready to fight before landing Q, dashing in with E, and then level up your W to get your quick spams off for insane damage. When you have ultimate, you can use it in one of 2 ways. Firstly, you can use it to engage and kill your lane opponent. Landing the ultimate and ramming your opponent will knock them back enough to guarantee your Q. This forces them to a life or death situation in which you have a huge advantage. Otherwise, use your ultimate to roam mid or into an opposing jungle to look to get a second lane ahead. For late game team fights, you want to enter the fight on the flank with your ultimate. This is a huge amount of disruption. From here, you're looking to hit onto a carry, getting your E and Q onto them. From here, blow them up and win the fight.